Mike Tyson has been telling this story for years, but this time, everything changed. After exposing Brad Pitt publicly once again, Tyson now claims the actor sent him an absolutely brutal private message. A message he has now allegedly leaked. And honestly, nobody expected such a harsh response from Brad Pitt. Between tension, humiliation, and old grudges resurfacing, a massive beef seems to be exploding right now. Robin Givens and boxing legend Mike Tyson got married in February 1988. Their relationship was extremely messy. Both parties flung accusations at each other, and Givens cited fears for her safety as her reason for divorcing the boxer. The marriage lasted barely a year. By 1989, it was over on paper, but it was far from over in reality. During an in-depth with Graham Bensinger appearance, Tyson told the host that he was mad as hell when he caught Brad Pitt and Robin Givens in bed. He shared, you should have seen his face when he saw me. I was due a divorce, but every day I would go to her house to have sex with her. This particular day, someone beat me to the punch. I guess Brad Pitt got there earlier than I did. That's Mike Tyson, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. A man who had knocked out fighters in seconds. A man whose fists were legally classified as lethal weapons in boxing circles. And he's driving to his soon-to-be ex-wife's house. The house he paid for, the car in the driveway he bought, and he sees someone else sitting in it. Not just anyone. A young, unknown actor from Missouri who hadn't yet become a household name. Iron Mike broke it all down on The Real, candidly revealing he wanted to get a final session in with Givens before visiting his divorce lawyer and effectively ending their marriage. When Tyson approached the door of the house they lived in, he saw that it was quiet, but noticed the BMW he had bought for the actress pulling up to the property. So, when I saw the car coming, I think it's her and one of her girlfriends from the show, but it's not. It's a guy. Then I got mad. Known more for his guest appearances on TV shows like Dallas and Another World than for leading man roles. He was nobody by Hollywood standards. Meanwhile, Tyson was the most feared man on the planet, the youngest heavyweight champion in history. And here was this young, lanky actor sitting next to his wife in a BMW that Tyson's money had purchased. Tyson recounted a dramatic moment in his book when he pulled into Givens' driveway and found her in a car with Pitt. Reflecting on the encounter, Mike Tyson wrote, "You had to see the look on his face. He looked like he was ready to receive his last rites. He also looked stoned out of his gourd." According to Tyson, Pitt pleaded with him in fear, saying, "Dude, don't hit me. Don't hit me." Picture that. A man who was soon to become one of the biggest movie stars on the planet, begging the most dangerous fighter alive not to end his career and possibly his life. Right there in a driveway in the late 1980s, Tyson recalled, "He looked like he must have been a little high. Because I know about high. He wasn't the Brad now with the reputation he's upholding. He was like a beach bum, a little nerdy." This is the picture Tyson paints. A scruffy, stoned, terrified young man who had wandered into the territory of the most dangerous heavyweight champion in history. And Tyson has told this story over and over and over again on Conan, on Graham Bensinger, on The Real. In his autobiography, he has dined out on this story for decades, and every single time, the story gets a little more vivid, a little more dramatic, a little more theatrical. But there's someone who has remained eerily absent from the conversation this entire time. The man at the center of the accusation, Brad Pitt. Not a word, not a single public statement, not a denial, not a confirmation, nothing. And that silence, that absolute, calculated silence, might just be the most brutal message of all. To understand why this story matters so much, you have to understand the marriage that produced it. Mike Tyson and Robin Givens didn't just have a marriage, they had a spectacle. A collision of two worlds that fascinated America and then horrified it. Robin Givens and Mike Tyson began dating in 1987 before getting married a year later on 7th of February 1988. But things soon got extremely messy, with the pair both flinging various accusations around before Givens filed for divorce, stating fears for her safety due to continued violence, according to her attorney. Tyson sought an annulment, and the split was finalized in 1989. Givens was an accomplished actress. She had a degree from Sarah Lawrence College, She was starring in the hit sitcom Head of the Class. She was poised, articulate, and ambitious. Tyson was from the streets of Brownsville, Brooklyn. He'd been arrested dozens of times before he was 13. He found boxing through Cus D'Amato, who became like a father to him, and by 20 years old, he was the youngest heavyweight champion in history. These two people came from opposite ends of the universe and collided like two galaxies crashing into each other. In 1988, Robin Givens and her husband, Mike Tyson, the heavyweight champion of the world, gave an extraordinary television interview to Barbara Walters of ABC News. As Mike sat quietly, his arm draped around Robin, she addressed persistent tabloid rumors that he was violent and abusive. That interview changed everything. As Walters pried into the young couple's marriage, Givens described the hell of life with Tyson, making on-air accusations of emotional and physical abuse. Tyson remained stoic, but off-camera found it increasingly difficult to make his center hold. Following the interview, he argued with Givens, crashed his car, and flew into a rage. Both alleging abuse, the couple underwent a messy divorce shortly after. The public reaction was staggering, far from eliciting sympathy for Robin, which is what you'd expect, or drawing condemnation of her husband. The interview would lead to a nasty backlash against Robin Givens. 1 month later, she would file for divorce, and soon thereafter, she would become commonly referred to in the press as the most hated woman in America. They were also really young. They were 21 and 23 at the time of this interview. They were babies. Two kids really locked in a marriage that neither of them had the emotional tools to navigate. And the world was watching every ugly second of it unfold on live television. Then, the day she filed for divorce, CNN ran polls asking who's at fault in the marriage breakup, Mike Tyson or Robin Givens, and 93% of the callers said it was Robin, and 7% said it was Mike. The public had made up its mind. Robin Givens was the villain. Mike Tyson was the victim. And that narrative would harden like concrete over the next 3 decades. It was in this toxic, chaotic atmosphere that the Brad Pitt incident supposedly took place. The year was 1989. Tyson was going through a divorce with Robin Givens. However, the two still had sex daily, despite Tyson having moved out of their New Jersey house months before. Givens was also seeing Brad Pitt at the time. This context is everything, because the story Tyson tells is not just about catching someone with his wife. It's about power, about humiliation, about a man who felt the world was being ripped from his hands by his wife, by the media, by the public, and who then discovered that another man had stepped into what he still considered his territory. The Brad Pitt driveway story became Tyson's anchor, his proof that he had been wronged, and he clung to it. Mike Tyson didn't tell this story once. He told it everywhere, to everyone, for years. Mike Tyson's telling of the Brad Pitt encounter has become legendary, largely because of how candidly and consistently he's shared it over the years. This isn't just a fleeting rumor. It's a story that Iron Mike has recounted on various platforms, from The Howard Stern Show to his best-selling autobiography, Undisputed Truth. Each time, his narrative paints a vivid picture of his emotional state during that chaotic period of his life. Tyson wrote in his 2013 memoir, Undisputed Truth, that Robin was having an affair with Brad while they were married. The book laid out the driveway encounter, the alleged bedroom encounter, and the famous claim that Pitt begged not to be struck. He wrote that he pulled into Givens' driveway and saw her in a car with Brad, and claims he caught them in bed together on another occasion. Mike claimed that Brad had pleaded with him not to hurt him, saying, "Dude, don't hit me. Don't hit me." Tyson appeared on Conan O'Brien's show, where he once again recounted the moment he caught his ex-wife Robin Givens in the bedroom with Brad Pitt. On another occasion, Mike Tyson opened up about it on the Real Dynamite talk show. He said, "When I saw the car come out, I think maybe her or a girlfriend from the show, but it's not. It's a guy, and then I got mad." Each retelling carried the same key beats. He was going to see Robin. He spotted the BMW. Someone was in it. It was a man. He got angry. He saw Pitt's face. Pitt was terrified. Pitt begged him not to swing. Tyson benevolently chose not to destroy the man who would go on to become one of the most bankable movie stars on earth. Tyson also told Calloway it wasn't just Pitt who was scared. But he actually was too, despite being known as the baddest man on the planet. I was scared too because this was pre-Matrix. That Brazilian karate's trying to run but coming back. Tyson reveals. I thought I better back up from that little white motherfucker. That last admission is particularly interesting. Tyson saying he was also scared injects a layer of self-awareness into a story that otherwise sounds like a pure power fantasy. It hints at the complexity underneath. A man who was terrifying to the world, but who was also deeply insecure, deeply hurt, and spinning out of control in his personal life. But even with that admission, the story always ends the same way. Brad Pitt was caught, Brad Pitt was scared, and Mike Tyson was the one who held all the power. The story has resurfaced again, trending on social media in May 2026, after clips of Tyson's various tellings went viral once more. The internet did what the internet does. It amplified, it memed, it debated, but through all of it, one thing remained unchanged. Brad Pitt has never said a single word about any of it. Not publicly, not privately, as far as anyone can tell. His representatives have been contacted by multiple outlets over the years. The response has been the same every time. Silence. For every time Mike Tyson has told his version of the story, there's been someone quietly correcting the record. And that person is Robin Givens. Robin Givens has consistently refuted Mike Tyson's claims, particularly his assertion about catching her in bed with Brad Pitt. During an appearance on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, Givens clarified, pulling up in the driveway. That part's true. I thought he said he caught us in bed. I didn't read the book, but I was told he said he caught us in bed, which never happened. Never, ever, ever happened. Givens stated that while Tyson did catch her with Pitt, they were simply in a car returning from a screening. So there it is. A screening, not a bedroom, not an illicit rendezvous. According to Givens, they were returning from watching something, a movie, a show, and Tyson happened to see them in the car. That's the whole story. Regarding Tyson's claim that Pitt begged him not to hit him, Givens dismissed it, saying, "Does that sound like Brad?" And adding, "I mean, Brad's got some swag." That response is fascinating. Givens isn't just denying the claim, she's casting doubt on the entire characterization. The idea of Brad Pitt, even a young and unknown Brad Pitt, cowering and begging doesn't match the person she knew. And she says it with a laugh, not with indignation. As if the very suggestion is absurd. While Givens and Pitt did date at some point in the 80s, she denied ever being unfaithful to Tyson. So Givens acknowledges that she and Pitt had a romantic connection. But she draws a firm line. It happened after the marriage was over, not during it. Now, this creates a strange he said, she said situation where the facts are muddy, but the narrative has always favored Tyson's version. Why? Because Tyson was the one telling it. Loudly. Repeatedly. On every platform available to him. And because the public had already decided in 1988 that Robin Givens was the villain, the gold digger, the manipulator, the woman who humiliated America's heavyweight champion on Barbara Walters. In October 2009, Oprah sat down with former heavyweight Mike Tyson to discuss his fight with Evander Holyfield, the death of his daughter, and his relationship with ex-wife Robin Givens. When the subject of Mike and Robin's 1988 interview with Barbara Walters came up, Mike said that Robin told lies about him. At that particular moment, I truly wanted to sock her, but I just didn't do it, he said. I have socked her before and she socked me before as well. It was just that kind of relationship. After the show aired, Oprah received a letter from Robin, who is now the spokesperson for the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Robin says she was disturbed and saddened by how Oprah handled parts of the interview. I was really hurt, she says. It's tough for all women to experience this. It's tough to have a man say it and feel that it's no big thing. The Brad Pitt story doesn't exist in a vacuum. It exists within the context of a marriage that involved documented allegations of domestic violence, a public vilification campaign against Givens, and a decades-long pattern of Tyson controlling the narrative. Every time Tyson tells the Brad Pitt driveway story, it subtly reinforces the idea that he was the wronged party in the marriage, that Robin was sneaking around, that she was the betrayer, and the Brad Pitt detail makes it all the more dramatic. She wasn't just with any man, She was with a future superstar. It's the kind of detail that makes a story unforgettable. And that's exactly why Tyson has never stopped telling it. Givens admitted the effects of the marriage still lingered because of the things Tyson said about her on his podcast. She recalled feeling anxious, remembering the months she endured her violent marriage. She also shared that though he was no longer physically abusing her, his words years later still hurt. And then there's Brad Pitt, the man who has never said a word. In all the decades this story has circulated, through memoirs, talk shows, podcasts, viral clips, social media threads, and now its latest resurgence in May 2026, Brad Pitt has never issued a statement, never confirmed, never denied, never addressed it in an interview, never acknowledged it in passing. Nothing. When outlets have reached out to his representatives, Ladbubble contacted Brad Pitt's reps for comment, as have multiple other publications over the years. The result is always the same: no comment, no response, no engagement whatsoever, and that silence is, in many ways, the most devastating response Brad Pitt could have given. Think about what Tyson's story requires to work. It needs two participants, the teller and the subject. Tyson has been the teller, energetically, repeatedly, publicly. But without Pitt's engagement, the story exists in a peculiar limbo. It's never confirmed, so it never becomes established fact. But it's never denied either, so it never quite goes away. It just floats there, entirely dependent on one man's retelling. If Pitt had responded, even once, it would have given the story legs. A denial would have turned it into a feud. A confirmation would have turned it into a scandal. Either way, Pitt would have been drawn into a decades-long public drama involving another man's divorce, another man's pain, and another man's narrative. By saying nothing, Pitt has refused to be a character in Tyson's story. He has declined the role entirely. Despite Brad Pitt's Hollywood success as an A-list actor, his personal life, particularly his relationships, has often overshadowed his career. One infamous incident from his early career involved him allegedly being caught with Mike Tyson's ex-wife, Robin Givens, which added to his reputation. Brad Pitt went on to become one of the biggest movie stars in history. He married Jennifer Aniston, then Angelina Jolie. He became a father, he became a producer, he became an icon. And through all of it, every single interview, every press junket, every red carpet, he has never once engaged with the Mike Tyson driveway story. Not even in the lightest, most casual way. That's the message. Not a statement, not a press release, not a social media post. The message is the absence of a message. It says, I don't need to respond to this. I don't need to confirm it, deny it, or engage with it in any way. My life, my career, my trajectory speaks for itself. I was a young actor in the late 1980s. Whatever happened in a driveway in New Jersey nearly 4 decades ago is not something I need to address. Not then. Not now. Not ever. Tyson himself on The Real recalled, still, when the car came and she said, Michael, he didn't see me. He's like, hey dude. Tyson said, referring to a young Pitt, gesturing that the then struggling actor was smoking on something. My right hand on God. But anyway, we met and stuff, and that was my first thinking. He's a really nice guy. Even Tyson, in his more reflective moments, has softened. He's called Pitt a nice guy. He's admitted to being scared himself. He's turned the story into comedy on multiple occasions, laughing through the retelling as audiences howl. The rage has faded into entertainment. The pain has calcified into a punchline. And through all of it, Brad Pitt has remained exactly where he started, silent. Whether you believe Tyson's version, the driveway, the bedroom, the begging, or Givens' version, the screening, the car, the nothing, Brad Pitt's position has been consistent. He has not participated in this narrative. He has not fed it. He has not fought it. He has let 2 other people tell their versions while he said absolutely nothing. And that nothing has echoed louder than any statement ever could. Sometimes the most brutal message a person can send is the one they never say. Mike Tyson has spent over 3 decades telling the world what happened in that driveway. Brad Pitt has spent those same 3 decades acting as if it never happened at all. And that, in itself, tells you everything you need to know.